There is a specific kind of silence that only exists at rock bottom. It is the moment when the last of your excuses has been burned away, when the people you thought would stay have left, and when the bank account or the dream you spent years building reads exactly zero. To most, this zero is a grave. It is the end of the story, but to the few who possess the heart of a warrior, zero is the most powerful number in existence. Why? Because zero is the ultimate blank canvas. At zero, you have nothing left to lose, which means for the first time in your life, you are dangerously free. This is the start of your Fey metamorphosis, Fey. This is the blueprint for a total life reconstruction. Let me tell you about a man named Caleb. Caleb was 40 years old when he hit his zero. In a single year, he lost a high-powered career, a marriage of 15 years, and his physical health. He found himself in a small, rented room with nothing but a few boxes and a heavy heart. He felt like a ghost in his own life. Caleb spent weeks asking, "How did I get here?" But the hero's journey doesn't begin with why, it begins with what now. Caleb realized that his old life was a house built on sand. It was built on the expectations of others, on shallow success, and on a lack of true fortitude. He decided that if he was going to rebuild, he wouldn't just rebuild the same house. He would build a cathedral of the soul. The first stage of the blueprint is deconstruction. You must stop trying to save the pieces of the past. If you are at zero, let the past stay at zero. Stop looking back at the ruins with regret. Instead, look at them as raw material. What lessons can you extract? What weaknesses led to the collapse? In this stage, you reclaim your sovereignty. You stop being a victim of your history and start being the architect of your future. The second stage is the foundation. When Caleb started his reconstruction, he didn't try to find a new job or a new partner immediately. He started with his bed. He started with his breath. He realized that a massive life is built on tiny incremental wins. He committed to a ritual of self-discipline. He mastered his mornings. He pushed his body through physical pain to remind his mind that it was still in control. He understood that you cannot build a skyscraper on a cracked foundation. Your daily habits, the way you eat, the way you speak to yourself, the way you handle your time, these are the foundation stones. The third stage is strategic expansion. Once the foundation of discipline is set, you begin to move outward. Caleb started a small business, not with $1 million loan, but with $100 hustle. He faced rejection every day. But because he had already survived zero, rejection felt like nothing. He had lost his fear of the fall because he was already standing on the ground. This is the great secret of the 0 point. It removes your fear. When you have already lost everything, the world no longer has any leverage over you. You can take risks that others wouldn't dare. You can speak truths that others are too afraid to utter. As Caleb rebuilt, he noticed something strange. He was happier at 50% of his new life than he had ever been at 100% of his old one. Why? Because this time, he owned every brick. This time, his life was an expression of his own values, not a performance for an audience. Reconstruction is not a linear path. There will be days when you feel like you are sliding back toward zero. But remember, progress is measured by your resilience, not your speed. Each time you face a setback and refuse to quit, you are reinforcing the steel in your character. The blueprint for your life reconstruction requires 3 things. First, the courage to accept that the old you is dead. Second, the discipline to do the small, boring things right. Every single day. Third, the vision to see the masterpiece in the midst of the rubble. If you are watching this and you feel like you are at zero, congratulations, you are at the starting line of the most important race of your life. The world might think you are finished, but you know better. You are just getting started. You are currently in the dark room of your life. It is dark, it is quiet, and it is uncomfortable. But this is where the image of your future self is being developed. Don't rush the process. Don't look for shortcuts. Build slowly. Build for strength, not for show. Build a life that you don't need a vacation from. You have the tools, you have the blueprint, and most importantly, you have the fire that only comes from being burned. It's time to pick up the first brick. Rise.